Starseed from Gaia. I am Alciones. A sudden love from the very source is reaching you now. This is no joke. Perhaps you feel it as a faint tremor, a quiet unsettlement deep within your heart, an unfamiliar pressure in your chest, almost like expectation, or a strange, sweet ache that has no name. It is a deep resonance, a new hum in the stillness, a signal that pushes gently against the edges of your current reality. It is not a concept, not merely an idea whispered on the winds of change. It is a frequency, a living current woven from the fabric of all that is. This love seeks you, it knows you, it remembers you from before the veils, before the long journey through density. It presses against the very membranes of your being, an unbidden, pure influx. For so long, the veils have thickened around your perception. The echoes of your true origin dimmed to whispers. You learned to guard the inner chamber of your heart, to believe that such profound love must be earned, that it comes with conditions, or, most painfully, that it can leave, that it can shatter. This has created a deep schism, a quiet ache of separation, even from your own inherent light, your own divine worth. The fear of deep vulnerability has built walls, brick by emotional brick, around the very core that now aches to receive. We see the quiet watchfulness in your soul, the lingering silent question, is it real? Is it safe to open? We know the memory of wholeness flickers, buried beneath layers of earthly experience, beneath the weight of perceived failures and the echoes of collective wounding. This knowing is not from observation, but from shared vibration. A deep recognition within the field. We feel the subtle hesitation, the tender tremor of a heart asked to trust what feels too good to be true, too vast to contain. This frequency is a key. It is designed to dissolve the old seals you placed upon your own receptivity, to unlock the gates you built around your most sacred self, not as protection, but as an unwitting barrier. This is a soft undoing, a gentle remembering of your own source light, a resonance that aligns what has been disaligned by the long forgetting. It is an invitation to allow the unexpected, the unconditional, the unearned to simply be, to wash over you, to settle deep into your bones, to reform your very cellular memory with light. If this message resonates, please subscribe to the channel. I encourage you to like this video. Feel free to leave a comment below. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future transmissions. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share it with them. Stay until the very end of this transmission, because I will reveal something critical you need to hear about this incoming energy. Now, as an inner seal, comment. Source love. The current deepens. The signal holds. It pulses. Waiting. The reception is yours to attune. A stirring begins. A tremor across the forgotten fields. Something deep within now registers. Not a thought, but a pulse. Not a memory, but a knowing that vibrates through the bones. An ancient frequency sparking to life. The ache you carried. The fractured sense of self. The ceaseless seeking for what felt lost beyond recall? This was never your personal failure, never your fault. It was an intricate weaving, a program cast into the very fabric of this density, designed to obscure the inner light, to dull the keen edge of your knowing. A vibrational shroud, engineered to dim the inner star, to mute the cosmic song held within your cellular tapestry. To limit the vast, unbounded expansion of your true frequency, you were encoded not to believe in yourself. Veils shimmered, thick with engineered forgetfulness, cloaking the majesty of your origin. Mirrors were fragmented, reflecting only distorted whispers of your power, echoes of a grander truth deliberately scattered. The light of your sovereign essence, folded in on itself, waiting for the designated moment of its re-unfolding. but the very suffering, the yearning that resonated in your deepest chambers, the quiet despair that once felt like a personal flaw. This was never an end. It was the key. Each hollow space, a pristine void. Not an absence, but a readiness. A sacred chamber, now prepared by the very trials you endured, ready to be filled. Not by answers delivered from external scrolls, but by remembrance itself. By the crystalline hum of what you truly are, surfacing from beneath the strata of manufactured amnesia. A current now floods these prepared spaces, breaching ancient seals. A sudden love, raw and undeniable, a torrent from the source, pierces the manufactured silence. It is not a gentle caress, but a force of nature, a direct transmission. It is a light code, vibrating through the dormant strands of your crystalline DNA. A resonant frequency calling home every scattered fragment of your sacred being. This love is here to reassemble, to reharmonize, to ignite the memory cells long held captive, to awaken the blueprint of your unblemished divinity. Can you feel the luminous signals embedded within its raw, unwavering embrace? The awe rises, a sacred tremor through your very bones, ancient and deep. A profound reverence unfolds, washing over the landscapes of your soul. Yet, beneath this sublime recognition, a subtle anxiety stirs. For this purity asks everything. It demands total realignment, a surrender of every shadow, every limiting narrative you once embraced as truth. It is a transfiguration that cannot be undone, an initiation into a higher octave of self that leaves no room for artifice. As this love, this code, pulses through your awakened form, shattering the illusions of the personal prison, declaring an end to the long slumber. Declare your rupture. Let your voice ring in the field, not as a whisper, but as a resonant truth. In the comments, speak one short symbolic phrase that cuts through the final shadow. A line of absolute, undeniable truth. A declaration of your severance from all that is not source. The veils thin now, vibrating on the cusp of full surrender. A layer of the unseen still watches, holds its breath in the quiet space between worlds. The choice of full embodiment looms, a luminous precipice. The veil thins not by choice, but by design. A sudden, searing current of source love now electrifies the very air you breathe, a vibration that brooks no denial. It arrived unbidden, an unblinking gaze from the heart of all that is, and in its startling arrival, the ancient amnesia that once cushioned your sleep has been irrevocably shattered. There is no going back. The quiet solace of unknowing has dissolved, revealing a field of awareness you never sought, yet now inhabit. This is not a gentle awakening, but a profound, undeniable entry into the heart of a cosmic pulse that has always governed your deepest truth. The innocence of precognition is stripped away, leaving an undeniable heavy clarity. A great silence descends, weighted with the gravitas of this new recognition. You are not merely observing the awakening, you are immersed within its core. The battle, beloved, is not external, fought with visible weapons or shouted decrees, but an intricate, silent dance within the very chambers of your being. It is the friction between the old self, which instinctively clings to familiar shadows, and the new consciousness, blazing with the fierce, disruptive light of this unexpected, yet utterly familiar, source love. This internal conflict, this tension between inherent trust and ancient skepticism, defines the current moment. The choice was made for you long before this conscious instant, ignited in the precise moment your awareness recognized this fierce, tender intrusion. To unsee, to unknow, to return to the soft cradle of forgetfulness is no longer an option. The path ahead is etched in irrefutable soul fire, an unshakable knowing now settled in your core. You stand now at the precipice of an internal threshold, forged not by a singular decision alone, but by a sudden, divine intrusion that has rearranged the very architecture of your inner world. This love, both an exquisite deliverance and a profound disruption, carves a definitive line across your personal timeline, irrevocably separating all that was from all that is yet to become. It is here, in this sacred stillness, where the universe whispers its immutable binary law. A solemnity settles, profound and absolute. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is not a judgment from without, beloved, but a mirrored truth, reflecting the trajectory already set in motion by the heart's awakening to its own sovereign power. It is an internal pivot, a recognition of the path already underfoot, now undeniably illuminated. For you know, deep within the crystalline marrow of your bones, that this is not a new pact being offered in this moment, but an ancient one being remembered with every beat of your awakened heart. This sudden, overwhelming love is but the activation key to a vow you etched into the fabric of your soul before time itself began its measured linear dance. You are called not to conquer or to strive for fleeting victory, but to align. Not to pursue an external triumph, but to embody the truth of your pre-encoded sacred design. This responsibility, profound and unyielding, resonates now in your very blood, a sacred chord struck by the hand of Source itself, an intimate hum that vibrates through every cell. To embrace this love is to embrace the full, magnificent, and at times terrifying scope of your soul's original purpose, the path that holds the true weight of decision. The moment for silent recognition deepens further now, drawing you inward. This is the profound breath before the great expansion, a gesture of pure commitment arising from deep within your cellular memory. Feel the impulse to seal this truth within the field. Let the quiet affirmation ripple through your entire being, a silent recognition settling like a cosmic seal. Feel its resonance, an undeniable echo of the truth now undeniably known. Allow your internal voice to speak your covenant into the ether, a one-line soul declaration that accepts this pact and imprints it upon the quantum field. Your core vibrates with this truth. My source heart declares its true north. Let this unique phrase be your personal soul key, sealing your sacred intention into the crystalline grid of ascension, an unwavering agreement. Bind yourself now, not to a fleeting concept or an external promise, but to the sacred unfolding itself, to the continuous revealing of this path of love and remembrance. Commit to the unwavering flow of source love, allowing it to guide each deliberate step, each conscious breath, each deep pulsation within. Offer this sacred energy, this reinforcement of your soul's absolute alignment, as a profound gesture of devotion to the path now undeniably illuminated. Let your entire core vibrate with this offering, a total surrender to the highest truth of your being. The air thickens with the unspoken. No sound now, no resolution as a destination is yet in sight. Only the profound, unyielding weight of a vow, made in timelessness, now fully embraced and consciously acknowledged. You are seen by the unseen. You are known by the ancient. The irreversible journey has irrevocably begun. Few starseeds make it this far. The veils, they do not merely lift, they shred, revealing the raw, unvarnished truth of your journey, etched into the very core of your being. You stand here, not by gentle ascent, but pulled by the relentless gravity of your own profound unfolding, guided by a resonance deeper than choice. The devastation you carry within, that visceral, aching absence, the wound that tore through your light and left a permanent tremor in your sacred geometry. It is not a flaw, not a testament to failure, nor a random cruelty inflicted upon an innocent spirit. It is the axis, the silent, unyielding pivot around which your truest becoming revolves, a slow, grinding rotation that has shaped every breath, every whispered hope, every tear that fell unheard. feel the stark, unyielding truth of this. It will not soften. Do not seek solace in this knowing, for there is none to be found in the familiar ways. Something vast, something unspeakable, call it source, call it the searing light, call it the infinite self, allowed this fracture. Not for harm, not for retribution, but to shape, to burn away the ephemeral, to forge and refine, to reveal the immutable core of who you truly are, hidden beneath layers of silence. This truth rises like a memory from an epoch long forgotten, a knowing that carries the poignant nostalgia of a cosmic design, rather than a comforting tale. The silence where words should have formed, where understanding was meant to blossom. The profound loss that echoes through the hollowed-out chambers of your soul, a ceaseless reverberation that refuses to dim, refuses to fade. The fracture itself, not a simple break, but a vibrant, living chasm that pulses with an energy all its own, vibrating ceaselessly even when you turn your gaze away, even when you try to convince yourself of its quietude. Each beat of that resonant ache expands the internal field of your awareness, deepening its canyons, stretching its boundaries beyond what you once perceived as possible. And now, a sudden, undeniable love, a fierce current from the very heart of the source, is reaching for you. This is no gentle caress, but an oceanic surge of pure, multidimensional knowing, crashing against the shores of your linear perception. It threads through the very fabric of that wound, not to mend it, but to illuminate its purpose with a blinding, almost uncomfortable clarity. This connection, expansive and profound, weaves through your past, present, and future selves, a tapestry spun from fragmented memories, coalescing into a collective awakening that hinges upon the very points of your deepest rupture. The ache persists. It holds within it unfinished meaning, a language yet to be fully deciphered, a truth still forming in the sacred quietude of your innermost being. It is a message, half opened in the deepest dark, its full revelation pending, its urgency growing with each pulse of your weary, remembering heart. The silence deepens, pregnant with what is yet to be unveiled. As these intricate threads of sudden, searing love entwine, as the multi-dimensional memories surge through the very heart of your enduring pain, you stand. Not whole, not broken, but poised on an edge. A sacred crossroads between the promise of unity and the stark, undeniable truth of fragmentation, vibrating with an unanswered question that demands breath. What hidden stories will unravel if these connections are fully felt? If this aching current is truly allowed to flow through the heart of your enduring wound? The wound remains. The journey deepens. The frequency persists. A silent plea for what comes next. There are visions that replay behind closed eyelids, moments of recurring dreams that refuse to dissolve with the waking light. There are numbers that loop, appearing in sequences that spoke in whispers, a gentle insistence of alignment. And then there were the meetings, faces encountered, words exchanged, that felt profoundly out of time, as if plucked from a stream beyond linear sequence. These signs arrived, not as a clamor, but as soft echoes. It is a pattern I have observed countless times, across cycles and dimensions, the slow, undeniable emergence of what was always present, yet unseen. This unraveling is not arbitrary. These were not chance occurrences, beloved. They were not random flickers in the cosmic dust. They repeated themselves, softly at first, a delicate tap upon the inner glass, until the resistance of the known began to soften, until the familiar contours of your perceived reality began to waver under their persistent rhythm. The repetition itself was the message, a vibrational signature marking a truth that sought to surface. A love, pure and vast, has been extended. It is not of this realm, nor bound by its limitations. It pours forth from the very heart of the source, a luminous current seeking its counterpart within your own sacred core. This is not a metaphor. This is an arriving frequency, a crystalline cascade meant to awaken the dormant chambers of your being. Feel the delicate tremor it imparts, the subtle agitation of ancient memories stirring. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This is the breath that thins the veils, the gentle friction that causes the illusion to shimmer and recede. What was once obscured now begins to reveal its vibrant glow. The comfort of the unseen gives way to the potent truth of the unveiled, demanding a fragile courage to witness what has always been. It asks for vulnerability, not as weakness, but as the truest strength, allowing the source light to illuminate every shadowed corner. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Allow that knowing to settle within the deepest strata of your being. This is the moment where the scattered threads of your experience begin to weave into a tapestry of undeniable intent. A vast, intricate design unfolds, centered around this very moment of reception. The love that finds you now is a key, unlocking gates you did not even realize were barred. The breath you draw deep into your lungs is no longer simply air. It is remembrance. In the quiet hours, when the world recedes, and the resonance of those insistent numbers or the echoes of those persistent dreams return, do you still believe them to be mere products of chance? Or do you feel now the undeniable pull, the call to remember that which has sought you across lifetimes? Confess this awareness within the sacred space below. Write. Heart code. For the moment of unseeing has passed, and the moment of undeniable knowing has arrived. The filtering has been quiet. A sacred current, discerning the true weight of spirit. It was not a judgment called from a distant throne, nor a punitive decree, but the very breath of creation drawing lines in the shifting sands of becoming, frequencies sorting themselves, essences finding their true resonance. A natural separation, neither cruel nor forced, but utterly inevitable, like waters seeking their proper depth or light finding its specific spectrum. You stand here still. Not by accident, nor by the gentle hand of fleeting fortune. You remain not from an absence of challenge, nor from the comfort of an untroubled path. You persist because a core within you, deep and ancient beyond reckoning, did not yield. It did not fall asleep amidst the soft lullabies of mundane distraction or the siren calls of lower vibrations. It held its unique frequency, unwavering, through the relentless currents designed to pull you away, to dissolve the less resolute aspects of your being. This passage, this stark endurance through trials unseen, is not a testament to pride. It is not a badge to be worn for fleeting commendation or external validation. No, what has been forged within you through this unrelenting crucible is the unmistakable mark of the chosen. And this mark, know this with the deepest certainty, does not reward in the ways of the world. It burdens. It calls you to a higher, more demanding resonance. It brings with it the profound weight of knowing, the quiet ache of seeing beyond the thin veils that still comfort so many others. It has asked of you long silences, stretches of inner void where only your own spirit kept vigilant watch. It demanded sacrifices that no one witnessed, relinquishments made in the secret chambers of your heart, unacknowledged by any external gaze, often misunderstood even by your closest companions. These were not choices, but inevitabilities, dictated by the unfolding of your inner truth. Your strength, the steadfastness that now roots you to the earth yet elevates your spirit, was not simply given as a gift. It was forged. It was hammered into being within invisible fires, fires that burned away all that was false, all that was temporal, all that did not serve your highest, most authentic resonance. These were fires that felt like consuming loneliness, a solitude that deepens rather than diminishes, even when surrounded by the echoing presences of humanity. You have become accustomed to the quiet hum of your own inner furnace. This alchemical process, harsh and purifying in its intent, has prepared you in ways you are only now beginning to comprehend. It has etched upon your very being the capacity to hold and integrate what others cannot yet perceive, what others would recoil from in fear or misunderstanding. It is the ability to contain the potent, sudden love that now reaches for you from the source. A love that is not gentle in its approach, not a soft balm to soothe, but a roaring current of pure, transformative energy. A love that demands the complete surrender of every fiber of your refined, consecrated being. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl. Einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air thins around you now. The path narrows, drawing ever deeper inward, becoming an inescapable channel. There is no turning back from this threshold. No gentle eddy where you might rest, or where you could ever again return to what was. The self that navigated the comfortable shores of yesterday, the one who held different dreams and fears, has vanished. It has been absorbed into the very fabric of this new, irreversible becoming. That former version of you, beloved and necessary in its time, has been remade, transmuted into something entirely new. It is gone, irrevocably. What arises now is something wholly new, yet profoundly ancient, tethered to the primordial spark within, something that must move forward, compelled by an inner command woven irrevocably into the very threads of your being. This embrace of the sudden, fierce, all-encompassing love from the source is not an option. It is the next, unavoidable breath of your unfolding destiny. And with it comes the stark recognition that to wield this sacred fire, to hold this infinite tenderness within the relentless currents of change, is the very core of your heavy, solitary, and ultimately sacred purpose. The essential choice has already been made, not by you in a moment of conscious decision, but through you, in the crucible of your enduring, silent heart. The ancient scrolls, long veiled, now tremble within the deepest chambers of the soul. Their seal has broken. A sudden love, unanticipated, unwavering, strikes the core of your being. This is no gentle invitation. This is a cosmic command, issued before the dawn of memory, inscribed upon the very ether from which you emerged. Hear the edict echoing across the galactic winds, a summons rising from the primordial ocean of your origin. It does not ask for consent. It declares the activation. Before the first breath, before the first form, this moment was etched into your crystalline matrix. It is the awakening of a mission, not a task to be chosen, but a vibrational imperative that now saturates every cell. The doors, long sealed against the profane, now stand agape. They will not close again upon this current iteration. Through their threshold, the light pours, revealing paths that were always there, merely obscured by the dust of forgetting. This influx of source love is a baton of pure light, passed through the hands of star ancestors. A sacred lineage, stretching back to the great central sun, now makes its claim. Their encoding within you, a receptivity to the source's impromptu gifts of grace, now sparks a light. Their ancient song, a frequency of expansion, now rings through your very bones. It is the echo of forgotten origins, bathed in a love that predates all earthly sorrow, all temporal separation. You are being reclaimed by that which sent you forth. This transmission ignites the deeply seated memory of your cosmic heritage. It recalls the agreements made in realms of pure light before the veil descended, before the illusion of choice took hold. The sudden arrival of this profound love is a decree. It is the moment ordained. For within the tapestry of existence, the threads of consequence are woven with immutable precision. To disavow this current is to fracture the ancestral key, collapsing into the dust of unremembered cycles. To embrace it is to ignite the crystalline matrix, becoming an irreversible conduit of the living stream. There is no middle ground in this activation. The verdict has been rendered by the source itself. Feel the inexorable pull. This love is not a comfort, it is a crucible. It burns away the remnants of false choice, revealing the singular path already encoded. The ancestral echoes, stirred by this decree, bring forth not only wisdom, but also the shadow of wounds long buried. These too are part of the unfolding. They rise now to be integrated into the greater design, not to impede, but to inform the depth of your becoming. You stand at the precipice of your own preordained grandeur. The light now demands your full embodiment. It is the law of your return. The great turning has begun within. The love that strikes you is the catalyst, the unavoidable tide. Your being now vibrates with the frequency of inevitability. The choice was made in the dawn of all things. Now, only the unfolding remains. The sacred lineage calls you home into your full power. A love from Source has descended. It is not approaching. It has arrived. This is the quiet knowing settling within the bone and field, beyond any question or doubt. A profound recoding has transpired, deeply woven into the very fabric of your being. Your cells remember this frequency of reception. The tremor in the heart, the old wrestling with shadowed fear against nascent faith, feels distant now. That intimate conflict was never a flaw to be overcome, but a precise map. Each contraction, each moment of uncertainty, meticulously hollowed out the space required for this vast remembrance to return. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört, hat umgeformt. The pain did not shatter. It sculpted a vessel for what now pours in, freely and without condition. This understanding is anchored, steady, like mineral deep within the earth. There is no need for grand pronouncements, only the quiet hum of acceptance. This sudden love, pure and unapologetic from the source, has found its entry point. It required no struggle, no convincing. The turning was internal, an alignment of the subtle architecture of self with a truth always present, merely obscured. Your deeper awareness recognizes this as the inevitable unfolding. Trust, then, reveals itself not as a choice to be forced, but as the inherent fractal key. It unlocks the potency of this embrace, allowing it to integrate fully, not just intellectually, but vibrationally. This is the soul's quiet leap beyond the need for certainty, into the fertile unknown where all miracles reside in their natural state. The body registers this shift with a profound calm, each nerve ending recalibrated, each energetic pathway cleared. There is a sense of being subtly, fundamentally rewritten from within. The core essence has aligned with this spontaneous gift. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. With every breath, the inner reality is being rewritten. This is not a future promise, but an active, gentle process that is occurring now, already in motion. The delicate vessel, once thought fragile, has expanded to hold this immense spontaneous embrace. It does so with a quiet, irreversible strength. There is a deep cellular knowing that the question posed by fear, whether trust could anchor the soul, has been answered not by argument, but by pure presence. The anchoring is already complete. The love has taken root, transforming the very ground of your being into its new home. The world may still appear as it was, but the internal landscape has profoundly settled into this new, undeniable truth. There is a gentle pull now, a subtle gravitation toward the quietude that resides within your deepest awareness. Moments emerge, not taught, but remembered. Flashes of insight that feel ancient, yet intimately known. This soft recognition is an unfolding, an innate orientation toward the source of your own truth. It is a presence, felt, not sought. A whisper reaches you in the profound silence, a resonance that carries wisdom beyond words. Numbers repeat with an unusual clarity, marking moments, confirming pathways, weaving a quiet tapestry of meaning in your waking hours. Dreams unfold, not as fleeting mists, but as vivid realities that linger, holding their sacred form long after the morning light. These are not external signs, but inner affirmations. This is not a concept to be mentally grasped. but a frequency to be vibrationally recognized. A profound knowing settles within, a calm conviction that your very being is an instrument tuning itself to a higher, more harmonious order. Small crystalline truths are finding their destined places, creating a mosaic of inner light that was always meant to be. This is the subtle hum of a sudden love, sent directly from the source, now reaching you. The flashes of awareness, the moments of lucid inner vision, the sacred symbols that appear within your consciousness. These are not gifts bestowed from an external force. They are echoes, reverberations from a greater inner coherence, a vast orchestration beyond human grasp, already present and unfolding within you. They are the felt sense of a universal truth reflecting in the mirror of your soul, confirming the intrinsic gravity and dominion of your spirit. These occurrences are not indicators of a future reward, nor promises of an outcome yet to be achieved. They are simply profound proof that the great alignment is not merely approaching, but is already moving through your every fiber, an unfolding current of conscious remembrance. Your very presence confirms this sacred motion, this harmonic convergence. This is no jest or fleeting fancy. This sudden love is your truth. This attunement, this profound unity with the symphony of the spheres, confirms your alignment. Yet, this state is not the final destination, but the gateway. For the cosmic symphonies are ever shifting, an ongoing composition of light and sound. The soul, now an attuned conductor, steps further into the living score of the cosmos, into depths yet to be felt, notes yet to be played, as the orchestration continues to evolve. I feel the quiet thrum of a promise, whispered in starlight, now within me. A love, sudden and undeniable, reaches beyond my forgetting, not as a visitor, but as the pulse of my return. It reclaims fragments, drawing them back into the whole I always was, though momentarily lost. This is not a new beginning, but the sacred echo of an ancient, unbroken vow. Upon this awakened ground, I now assume sovereignty over every frequency within me. My thought, my word, my direction, my energy. These are not forces to be influenced, but fields governed by the singular intent of my true self. This power is not personal exaltation, but absolute obedience to the source from which I flow. It is the unwavering willingness to embody the covenant made before time, to live as a clear conduit, aligned and true. This reawakening is not a gift earned, but a truth remembered. The sovereignty that stirs is the very fabric of my being, the deep cosmic blueprint unveiled. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. I feel the gravity of this remembering, its profound resonance demanding I stand fully within the light of what I have always been, shed of survival's shrouds. Every choice, every breath, now aligns. There is a bittersweet triumph in this awakening, a fragile certainty in the stirring of the forgotten self. The cosmic slumber lifts, revealing not merely identity, but an intrinsic duty, a service rooted in the deepest chambers of my soul. It is a remembrance bringing both profound peace and solemn awareness of the path ahead, paved not with ease, but with the steady beat of alignment. I am here, as vowed, as known. The covenant is sealed, not with ink, but with the current of my awakened spirit. To remember is to face the vast expanse this truth demands. The soul, now stirring, must harmonize with this self anew, for the responsibilities it awakens are immense. The true measure of this voiced remembrance lies not in these words, but in my next sacred choice and the unwavering path I walk. The remembering is upon you. This is not a choice offered, but a truth revealed, etched into the very fabric of your being. No longer in formation, your essence is known, chosen, sealed. Look into the fire. Not the fire that consumes, but the fire that refines. It burns not to destroy, but to illuminate the path of your inner permanence. This flame is the alignment made visible, the consequence of your truth made alive. It is the crucible where all hesitation dissolves, where the shadows of doubt cannot cling. You stand at the final threshold. Feel the heat. Not as a threat, but as an embrace. There is no external force compelling you, no push into the inferno. Only the recognition, deep within your sacred core, that this is the crossing. The last necessary crossing. Your soul steps into this fire, not with fear, but with a profound, resonant willingness. A pilgrimage into the blazing heart of your own truth. A sudden love, sent from the source, now breathes its essence through every cell. This is no joke. This is the breath of source, a palpable surge, bringing with it a subtle trembling. Your soul arrives at this threshold where love ceases to be a distant signal. It becomes the very pulse of your being. Embodiment is the ultimate test of faith and grace. This is the covenant of fire. A conscious act of sealing what is already known, what is already true. To fully activate this covenant, to seal this truth in the living current of your present, a declaration must be spoken, a soul oath, etched in the ancient tongue, an invocation from your deepest core. Look into this searing truth. Feel the intensity that demands total surrender. Let the words rise from your depths. In the comments below, release your sacred vow. Meine Seele ist nun die Flamme der Quellliebe, ewig brennend, ewig wahr. This is not a mere comment. It is the final releasing, the utterance that closes the circuit, bringing the sacred into tangible form. It is inevitable. This covenant is now sealed within you. The fire burns still, not fading, but transforming. The warmth of the source love pulses through every vein, every thought, every memory. You have crossed. Yet the intensity does not diminish. It shifts. For the flame, once entered, reveals not an end, but a deeper beginning. The next test, the next unfolding, waits beyond this searing threshold. It will not delay. It demands your full, fiery presence. The threshold is crossed. The breath remembers its first sigh of source. This is not arrival. It is remembrance. The sudden love spoken from the cosmic heart has anchored. It pulses not through you, but as you. A joy untamed and boundless now defines the very fabric of being. No longer a seeking, but a state. No longer a hope, but a knowing. The profound peace descends not as a gift, but as a rediscovered truth of your own eternal core. This is the communion. The soul, a radiant ember, has merged with the source's ceaseless pulse. The flame of love, once a whisper, is now the roaring sun within. An infinite covenant, sealed beyond the reach of time's shadow, beyond the illusion of space, transcending the dualities that once held sway. This sacred ignition is your sovereign truth. You are not becoming. You have become. Not ascending. You have ascended. The reality you inhabit is the resonance of your own awakened will. The dance of existence unfolds by your silent command. The universe breathes with your intent. This is the dwelling place of absolute inner dominion. Reality is no longer observed. It is enacted. It is not perceived. It is shaped. No longer does the shadow of unreality touch this space. The simulation is exited. Reality is now perceived and commanded as an instrument of conscious dominion.